All right. Oh, close the door quick. Algebra 2. Let's do the third installment of this function notation. We're going to be doing composite functions. Basically a function within a function, which is all kinds of fun. Okay, so number 1, we have h of t. We're going to define as 3t plus 2. And g of t we'll define as 3t. Okay, we're asked to find h of g of t. This is the stupid notation. We'll rewrite it in smart notation. It'll be h of g of t. So first we have to find g of t, which would be 3t. So we can replace this g of t with 3t, so we're going to find h of 3t. And to find h of 3t, we're going to plug 3t into the h function, which would give us 3 times 3t plus 2, which equals 6t plus 2. Number 2, we've got g of x that we'll define as 4x plus 5. And then we also have f of x, which is 4x plus 2. F of x is defined as 4x plus 2. We have to find g of f of 10. G of f of 10. We'll rewrite this in normal notation. G of f of 10. So first we have to find f of 10. So we're going to do 4 times, we're going to plug a 10 into this f equation. So 4 times 10 is 40, plus 2 is 42. So we need to find g of 42. Let's see, 42, so we're going to plug 42 into this g equation. So 42 times 4 would be 164, is that right? No, 168. So it would equal 168 plus 5 would be 173. Number 3, we have g of a that's defined as 3a minus 5. And h of a is defined as 2a minus 3. And we're asked to find g of h of 6. G of h of 6. So first we'll find h of 6. So I'll plug 6 into the h function. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. So this is going to equal g of 9. Now we'll plug 9 into the g equation. So we get 3 times 9 is 27. 27 minus 5 is 22. Number 4. We've got h of x that we're going to define as 3x plus 4. Yep. 3x plus 4. And we've got g of x that we'll define as negative 3x minus 4. And we're asked to find h of g of 2x. H of g of 2x. So first we'll find the inside function, g of 2x. So we'll plug 2x in this equation. Negative 3 times 2x would be negative 6x. Minus 4. And we're finding h of that. So we're going to plug this into the h equation. I need some more room here. So anytime we see an x, we're going to place with a negative 6x minus 4. So it'll be 3 times negative 6x minus 4 plus 4. Okay, so let's distribute this. We got 3 times negative 6 is negative 18x minus 3 times 4 is 12 plus 4, which equals negative 18x. Let's combine these. Negative 12 plus 4 is going to be negative 8. That was, okay, so number 5. We have h of t is defined as negative 2t squared plus 2t. And g of t is 4t. G of t is defined as 4t. Whereas define h of g of negative t. So h of g of negative t. Let's rewrite that in better notation. H of g of negative t. So we'll work from the inside out. G of negative t. Well, 4 times negative t would be negative 4t, so that'll be pretty easy. So it'll be h of negative 4t. And then h of negative, so we're going to plug this negative 4t into this equation here. So we get negative 2 times negative 4t squared, all squared, plus 2 times negative 4t. All right, let's see if we can simplify this a little bit. We've got negative 2 times, oh, I need to square this first. Almost got ahead of myself. Negative 4 squared is 16. And then we have a t squared. And then we're going to have a negative 2 in front of that. So negative 2 times 16t squared plus, let's distribute the 2. Well, not distribute, we're going to multiply the 2. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8t. So that all simplifies to, well, negative 2 times 16 is negative 32. I have a t squared there. Plus negative is just going to be minus, so minus 8t. Number 6. We have f of x equals 2x plus 4. F of x equals 2x plus 4. And we have g of x equals x to the third minus 2. G of x equals x to the third minus 2. Whereas to find f of g of negative 4x. F of g of negative 4x. We'll rewrite that as f of g of negative 4x. So we go from the inside out. G of negative 4x. It's going to be negative 4x all to the third. And we'll take f of it, right? So it'll be negative 4x all to the third minus 2, which that's what? 4 to the third is negative 64. So it'll be negative 64x to the third. So it'll be f of negative 64 x to the third minus 2. And f of that is going to be, we're going to take all this business and plug it into this equation here. So it's going to be 2 times negative 64 x to the third minus 2, all plus 4. Kind of running out of room here. One more line. Okay, so let's multiply this out. So it'll be 2 times negative 64 would be negative 128 x to the third minus 2 times 2 is 4 plus 4. Well, I guess those just cancel out, don't they? So we land at negative 128 x to the third. Number 7. Lower the screen here. We've got f of n let's see, f of n is defined as 2n minus 3. And g of n is defined as n to the third minus 5n squared. We're asked to find 5 times f of negative 3n minus 2 times g of negative 3n. Okay, let's find this term first. So f of negative 3n, we're going to plug it into this f machine here. So it's going to be 5 times 2 times negative 3n minus 3. And let's do this term. So it'll be minus, it'll be 2 times, okay, g of negative 3n is going to be negative 3n to the third. Minus 5 times negative 3n squared. Okay, I got kind of a mess here. Let's just work from the inside out on both these. So 2 times negative 3n would be negative 6n. So it would be 5 times negative 6n minus 3 minus, let's see what we can do here. 2 times, okay, let's expand this out. Let's take both these to the third. So negative 3 to the third would be negative 27. And then n to the third is just n to the third. Minus, okay, we got 3 squared. Negative 3 squared is 9. And then we have an n squared. And then 9 times 5 is 45. N squared. Okay, let's go ahead and simplify this all the way. We have a 5 times negative 6 would be negative 30n minus 5 times 3 is 15. We'll change this to a plus negative. So it'll be plus negative 2 times negative 27 would be 54 n to the third. And negative 2 times negative 45 would be positive 90 n squared. Let's just rewrite this in descending order. We have an n to the third, so we have a 54 n to the third. We have a 90 n squared. We have a negative 30 n, and we have a negative 15. That was fun. Number 8. All right, we've got f of n is defined as n to the third plus 2n squared. And g of n is defined as 4n plus 2. And we're asked to find 2 times f of 1 minus n plus 4 times g of 1 minus n. Okay, let's do these separately. F of 1 minus n. So it's going to be 1 minus n to the third. So it's 2 times 1 minus n to the third plus 2 times 1 minus n squared. Okay, there's a 2 times f of 1 minus n. Plus, we have 4. And let's find g of 1 minus n. It's going to be times, okay, 4 times 1 minus n. Plus 2. Okay. This is going to be a mess. I'm fine with you leaving it like this. I will, let's see. Don't want to bother me if I have room to do this. So it'd be 1 minus n times 1 minus n times 1 minus n, which would be, yeah, that's going to be a major mess. I'm not sure what that comes out to. What is it? the final answer ends up being 2n to the third plus 10n squared minus 30n plus 30. I'm just going to take their word for it because I don't have enough room in this. If you really want me to show you how to do this, expand this out, I will in class, but we don't have enough room to do it on this dry erase board. So we'll go on to so we'll just consider this our answer, because remember, that's the step I want you to get. Number 9. Number 9. We have f of x is defined as negative 3x, and g of x is defined as 2x minus 4. Let's define 5 times f of x over 2 minus 2 times g of x over 2. Okay, so f of x over 2 is going to be negative 3 times x over 2. So it'll be 5 times negative 3x over 2 minus 2 times, and then g of x is going to be x over 2 times 2, which would just be x, minus 4. Okay, so we can simplify this a little bit. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15x over 2 minus 2x. Let's just do plus negative here. So it's going to be plus negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 4 is going to be positive 8. And I'm fine if you leave it like this. We could find a common denominator here, so it'd be this will be equal to negative 15x over 2 minus 4x over 2 plus 16 over 2, which would all equal negative 15x minus 4x, which would be negative 19x. Negative 19x plus 16 all over 2. So that's really the final answer, but I'm fine if you leave it like this. That's okay. All right, we're on the home stretch. Number 10. Number last. G of n is defined as n squared plus 4n. And then h of n is defined as 4n minus 2. And we're going to find negative 4 times g of z squared times g of z squared minus 3 times h of z squared. Okay, let's find g of z squared here. I'm going to multiply the whole thing by negative 4. So it's going to be negative 4 times, okay, so let's see, g of z squared is going to be z squared squared, which would be z to the 4th, plus 4 times z squared, minus 3 times h of z squared, which is, we're going to plug z squared into here, so it'll be 4 times z squared minus 2. Okay, this can simplify a little bit. Negative 4 times z to the 4th minus 16 z squared. We'll change that to a plus negative there. So plus negative 3 times 4 is negative 12 z squared. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. And let's combine some terms if possible. Yep. We have negative 4z to the 4th. Okay, so we have minus 16z squared minus 12z squared. So it's going to be minus 28z squared plus 6. And we're done. I'll see you guys in the morning.